Good afternoon. I think I'll be the one who'll wrap up the this nice, informative, enlightening session. Science and then religion. It's a very interesting topic, and I was interested in for many, many years and collecting the several readings and writings, and I didn't know that I had an opportunity to address to you. First of all, I would like to mention that Quran, that the Muslims' religious text of revelation, is starting with the letter Iqra, means read. And throughout the entire Quran, the 90% of the Quran is basically advice, doing good, refraining the bad. Only the 10% of is just the social issues, and some of them very striking that modern science were mentioned in a language of the 1500 years ago in the Quran. Modern embryology, modern astrology, astronomy, and all the other physical findings and biological findings is in there, but in the very simple languages. It's very interesting that Quran always encourages the human being to seek the knowledge, to seek the truth. And also the Prophet of Islam, Muhammad, peace be upon him, encouraged the followers to learn. For example, when they had a battle and they captured the prisoner of wars, and they freed them with the condition that some of them were learned people, and if you teach them, teach the others, the certain letters or how to read and write, they will get their freedom. So the knowledge is the really essence of Islam. And then in one of the others saying that Prophet encouraged the followers to learn the knowledge, even if it is in China. China is just referring to the far distance as compared to this Arabic Peninsula. So the knowledge is really very important. The learning is almost to the mandatory. So what is knowledge? So I would like to quote from one of the Muslim scholars that I have a high regard. He lived in the, he was born in the beginning of the 19th century, and his name is Nursi. He said, the lightening of the heart is with religious knowledge. Lightening of the heart or consciousness is with religious knowledge. Lightening of the mind is with modern science. The truth and reality emerge by the harmony of two. Otherwise, the fanaticism rises from the first, only the religious knowledge. Fraud and disbelief emerge from the second, science alone. So actually the knowledge is one. So we are the one who just split it. We said that experimental science, and then we had a theological science or the knowledge. And too much massive information, a lot of discoveries, is that we can't really keep it up. We cannot keep it up. And we can't keep the balances. So only the harmonious marriage of these two, religious knowledge and the modern science, can bring us a peace of mind and navigate us in the path of our lives. Remember, we are human being, and we are from blood, bone and then flesh. But we have also mind, and we have also heart. We can't really analyze, for example, how much I love you, how much I hate something, how much I angry. There is no love-o-meter or hate-o-meter or something like that we can measure. But in the lab, that I'm an active scientist, I measure the things, what the physical science, what the biological science taught me for for many years. And none of them were interfering my faith. As a matter of fact, it just opens up the window for me to see at the different dimensions. There is no such things that, you know, I'm holding my pipette and then saying some Islamic prayers and all of a sudden, boom, I got the result. There is no such things. I didn't work hard and day and night and send my papers and get 100,000 times the rejections and then no grant from the NIH. You know, I mean, I just strive as any other scientist. But at the end of the day, I just look at the, you know, the things and I really recognize a really fine art behind. When I look at the objective of the microscope, yeah, I can see the cells and motor neurons and this and that. These are physical things, but I try to look at the beyond that, you know, to see and then appreciate how beautifully done and how much I am learning from this little motor neurons, and hopefully one day I'll be the part of the solution of the Alzheimer's diseases. So the knowledge is one because it is directly descending from Allah, God Almighty. He has beautiful names. 99 of the names were mentioned in the Quran, and one of them is Al-Alim. Al-Alim is an all-knowing, all-knowing. So he is the source. He is the source. But I can't comprehend as a human being to comprehend the whole entire knowledge. I'm a neurobiologist. I train as a chemist. I know a little bit of mathematics and physics, but I have no idea about the sociology. I am learning. I don't have any knowledge about the history. I'm reading, and I don't have any skills, you know, to play with the notes and generating the nice harmonious music. But I'm not a musician. I can't comprehend. I can't comprehend those. All I have little things that I handled in the neurobiology that I'm learning and that I'm trying to contribute to the society. But at the same time, I have also heart, right? And then those papers, 100 papers, $1 million of the NIH grant, really doesn't satisfy my heart. Really doesn't satisfy my heart. When I come home and then I see my family and peace and the prosperous and the meal is ready and everything is fine, and I feel really a kind of lukewarm serenity in my heart, despite the fact that how much lousy results I had in the day. Yes, I think that there is no conflict, in my humble opinion, between the religion, between the faith, and then science, because these are the one we split them in order to be able to digest them. The cake is so big, we can't eat. We can't eat. For example, I was just looking at the Islamic era of the science. It's beautiful, published in the Nature 2006, and start from the 5th century and then reach the almost the 13th century in the heydays of the Islam. All the questions that what we are discussing, whether we are evolved or whether the Darwin was right or whether the God exists or whether we should believe in the miracles, has been already discussed in the 6th century already. All the great philosophers were just challenging to the Greek philosopher, Aristotle, for example, and they already nailed it down. But what happened, we became a nation as a human being unliterate. We don't read, we don't search, we just, start and then listen and whatever I say. So you don't, you should go and then search whether I am saying the correct things. So these things are already nailed it down, and these great scholars of Islam were also dedicated Muslims. They didn't have any doubt about their belief, yet they questioned how the kind of invisible things can exist. Angels are made out of the light. What is the light? Light is a matter. How it can be. How can't I see the metaphysical things? When the first astronaut went to the space, and the first thing that I don't see the divine beings. Well, poor guy, he thought that maybe all the angels are just a hand in hand and they're spinning around, the world, and glorifying the Almighty Lord. It wasn't. Because my eyes are not equipped to see the metaphysical things. Right? Can I see the ultraviolet? No, I can't. Can I see the infrared? No, I can't. All my eyes can see the visible spectrum, right? 456 to 900 nanometer. So now should I say that, well, I don't believe that an UV exists. Well, it is exists. I am using it, right? But I have to use the spectrophotometer, right? To find out the ultraviolet, to measure the ultraviolet. Well, I don't believe in God because I can touch it, I can feel it. Well, you can't because the measurement is different, right? Measurement is different. That's why you should just use the heart here. That's the device right here. You can't. My heart cannot measure the protein concentration. I have to do the Bradford experiment and analyze and utilize the spectrophotometer, right? My heart cannot say, oh, okay, don't worry about that, it's a 1 milligram per mil. It can't say, I should do it, all right? But my mind is physically equipped. I don't know how many trillions of the neurons are connecting and then they are firing each other. Knowledge is, floating around. But it can't measure the love. Have you heard about the definition of it's a heartbreaking story, but nobody say the brain-breaking story. Heartbreaking story, right? Did you have any kind of, the hurt? I had. 30 years ago, I was a young graduate student in Hungary, trying to make my PhD in a foreign land. And there was, the group of people coming from the different nations, and they came to know that I'm coming from Turkey, and I'm a Muslim, and I'm a graduate student. And one of the girl, lady, she was from former Yugoslavia, and then she said, I can't believe that you are intending to do science. I thought, why? I was, a little bit, shy. Because how come that, you claim yourself a student of science, you are believing in God. I couldn't say anything. I had a really heartache. There was a kind of really fist, and I stuck on my throat. I couldn't breathe, and I couldn't say anything. I couldn't say anything. I was, sad, and I was just listening. Why not? It doesn't really interfere. I'm sitting and I'm listening to my professors, answering the questions, and doing my experiments. I exactly do the same thing what you are doing. But at the end of the day, I just bow my head and glorify the knowledge. So all in all, I think we need to set up a really nice platform to discuss. Fanaticism is also a very big break. For example, Islamic fanaticism. If you know, I take everything literally, all the development and the science and the knowledge, or any kind of fanaticism in any kind of religion, not only Islamic, Christianity or Judaism, but to provide a kind of platform and listen. That's the important thing. We talk too much, but we don't listen, we don't analyze. I think if we can do that, we would really see a lot of the common points. We are 6 billion people, only a certain percent are highly learned, the knowledgeable, the people. And that the more you know, I think that we should be humbling ourselves. We shouldn't just climb up our ivory tower and then say that, hey, I know everything. We know nothing, right? 10 years ago, we said that 90% of the DNA is a junk DNA. Only the 10% is working. I thought I couldn't accept that one. I didn't have a knowledge. I couldn't accept that the 90% of these beautiful letters are garbage. It doesn't do anything. But now, 10 years later, I think that's not true. I think that now that we are revealing some knowledge. See, I think they're speaking ahead of time very quickly, and we don't really show the patience, and we don't show we don't listen. Okay. So, while I'm closing, that knowledge is one. One is just talking to the heart, the other one is talking to the mind. If you harmoniously combine together, then we can find the truth. Now, it's the truth is a universal, all truth is an individual, that's another question. Well, thank you.